My name is Dura Koimburi, the man who has gone to KITALE High Court to challenge the bigamy law, which stipulates that a Christian man should marry only one wife. I'm in KITALE High Court to challenge that law, plus the Marriage Act 2014, which gives some men the authority to marry the number of wives they want, and others are denied this right. You know, our Muslim brothers are allowed to marry up to 4 wives, and those who marry customarily are also allowed to marry as many wives as they can. But if you celebrated your marriage in the church, you are Christian, you are barred from marrying other wives. You have to stick to one wife until she dies or you die. So that is the discrimination. I am going there. I have gone to court to challenge, because I believe we are all equal before the law, and then and we all must enjoy the same protection of the law. So some people should not be, the law should not treat men differently. This is why I'm in court, and I would urge that all roads in Kenya read to KITALE High Court on the 4th of March. That is just about a few weeks from now. 4th of March, let all roads lead to KITALE, and let's hear the new direction of this case. The case is before a judge. There is a petition, but there is no defense. The Attorney General has not been able to defend this petition. So we shall be there. We don't know the direction the court will give this case, but we believe it will be a positive direction, because there is no controversy about it. The Attorney General has not written a defense. That's what we know. Now, I'm very much on this issue of barring men from marrying the number of wives they can support. And I have said, most of God's friends were polygamists, and God intended to work more closely with the polygamists, or more often with the polygamists, than the monogamists. Now let's look at monogamy from the point of view of liberators. God used polygamists to liberate the children of Israel, and we want to cite about 3 polygamists who God used to liberate the children of Israel. We shall start with Gideon. Gideon. The story of Gideon is in Judges, chapter 6 up to 8. You will find Gideon sitting there pretty with many women and a concubine. He is reported to have fathered 70 boys, 70 sons on his wives, and another son from a concubine. He is there. But when God wanted to liberate the children of Israel, when they were under siege from the Amalekites, the Midianites, and other eastern tribes who had determined to wipe out the children of Israel, because what they did was very interesting. First of all, they came and took away all the cows, goats, camels, all the domestic animals of the children of Israel, and they carted them away. They went with them. Then the next thing that they decided to do to wipe out the children of Israel was to come up with all their hands of cattle, goats, sheep, and camels, and they set them on the farms of the children of Israel. And the animals destroyed all the crops, so that the children of Israel were at the mercy of hunger. The Amalekites, the Midianites, and those other tribes decided to use hunger as a weapon against the children of Israel. The children of Israel cried to God, and God heard their prayers, and he decided to answer their prayer. by sending them a liberator. And this liberator was none other than Gideon, a man called Gideon. He sent an angel to Gideon and told him, "Go and liberate my people. They are going to be wiped out." And Gideon took up arms against all those tribes, and he fought them until he subdued them and liberated the children of Israel. So that is one instance where God used polygamists to liberate his people. Then the other liberator of the children of Israel was Moses. And known to most Christians, uh, most people, most Christians do not know that Moses was a polygamist. They only know that he had married a woman called Zipporah, the daughter of the Midianite priest called Jethro. That is the woman who is known by all the Christians. Christians fail to see another woman who is mentioned in Numbers, the Ethiopian woman. Moses had married a woman who was living very close to Kenya, because he was just living here in Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is a neighbor of Kenya. So that woman of Moses, in some Bible versions, she's referred as the Cushite woman or the Ethiopian woman. So if you add Zipporah to the Ethiopian woman, then you'll agree that Moses was a polygamist of at least 2 wives. And when God decided to save the children of Israel from Egypt and take them to the land of Canaan, he sent Moses, a polygamist of at least 2 wives. So Moses, we see another instance where God used a polygamist to liberate his people. Then the other person we see is David. At the entry of David, the children of Israel had so many enemies who were fighting them. And David was set in by God to fight out all the enemies of Israel. And he fought one nation after the other and brought them under the sole of his feet. David never lost any war to any enemy of the children of Israel. Because what David used to do, he used to ask God to give him permission to go and embark on a war. And that is how David fought all his wars and won all his battles against the enemies of the children of Israel. So at the time of his death, David had subdued all the surrounding tribes who were enemies of the children of Israel, and they had really come to fear the children of Israel. So David is another person who was used by God to liberate the children of Israel. At the time Solomon was setting in, all the neighboring tribes had been brought under the sole of David's foot. So that is now the second polygamist who God used to liberate the children of Israel. Remember, when David built a new home in Jerusalem, and he entered Jerusalem as the next seat of power, what he did, the Bible tells us that he married so many wives and kept so many concubines, and so many children were born in Jerusalem who resembled David. So David is the next liberator of the children of Israel. So you see, God was very fond of the polygamists, and he assigned them duties of liberating his people. He never added on people like Misandura, who has only one wife, and to fight his wars. So now, that is the thing. That is the Bible now. These are the polygamists are really discriminated in our churches today as sinful people. And the God who used these people is the same God that we have today. And God never changes in perspective. He was very fond of the polygamists those days, and he has never changed. Go and read Malachi chapter. You'll find that God never changes. The God who worked very closely with the polygamists is the same God we have today. So the question of saying the God of Israel tended to love polygamists, but when Jesus came, he disallowed it. There is nothing like that, because Jesus told Philip in John chapter 14 or thereabout that there is no God at Jesus. They are one and the same person. Philip wanted to be shown God or the Father of Jesus, but Jesus told Philip that if they have seen Jesus, they have seen God, they have seen his Father, because there is no difference between Jesus and his Father. So this God who loved the polygamists and used them in the liberation wars is the same God that we have today. He had a special love for a soft spot for polygamists, and he continues to be so even today, because God does not change in perspective, as he has informed you in the book of Malachi. Malachi chapter 2. God never changes. So as you go there to torment these polygamists in your churches, I think I would my message to you, you pastors, stop it. If you are serving the God of Israel and Jesus, then you have no business of chasing around these people who have multiple wives, whether in the form of wives or concubines. They are God's friends, and God loved them. And God really used them in the Bible. He also used them to write the Bible. So stop that business of molesting men who have multiple wives or multiple women. God loved these kind of people, and he has never pointed a finger against them. Thank you.